If I feel like my partner is saying, you are looking at this wrong, I'm going to flood, right? I'm going to feel like
Yeah.
I've been accused of something shameful. You're too much of a saver. You're too much of a spender. It starts to feel combative. So the best advice I can give is if it starts to feel like our body is not our friend in those moments, to just gently tap out, say, we can't do this right now. I'm a little too heated. Let's come back later today. Let's come back in 30 minutes. We have to come back to it, or else we're really stonewalling that conversation.
Walling.
But I
That's
think that
one
there's
of
a lot of merit.
yes, the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse of America,
Correct.
right?
Correct.
Who am I the person that came up with that?
John Gottman. Yep. So
Gottman. Yeah.
exactly. Yep. So Gottman, this is something that I talk with all of my couples about that. And if anybody isn't familiar with that term, John and Julie Gottman are excellent couples researchers and therapists. They've written many, many books. I incorporate their work into my couples therapy. And the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse are the four markers that they've found over time really correlate with couples staying together and staying together happily. And those four things that we look for are criticism and contempt, which are kind of along the same spectrum, but I think it's going to be relevant for this conversation. So I'll come back to that. Defensiveness and stonewalling. So when any of those four things are present with couples, we want to be really mindful that that is going to deteriorate the relationship over time. Criticism and contempt do not mean that you have a complaint about something. We need to come to each other with our complaints. But criticism often is, you have done something wrong. You are too frivolous. You are too frugal, right? It's an attack on that person. And contempt, which I think can come into these conversations if we're not careful, is, I would never do that, right? It's kind of this, I'm better than you. I'm looking down my nose at you. It may include name calling. It might not. Sometimes contempt is very nonverbal, where it's eye rolling or again, right? You bought this again, or right. So we can go from, wow, I disagree with that, or I really see things differently, or even I don't like that, to you are wrong. And we start injecting shame into the conversation. And so that is one of the four horsemen. And then we can imagine that defensiveness probably follows right behind it. If we're criticizing or being contemptuous, of course our partner is going to respond with defensiveness, which is going to make us feel unheard, and we are in this negative spiral. So what stonewalling is refusing to have these conversations, or being not present to have the conversations, or being too intoxicated to have the conversations, and never returning to it. So it's like this approach avoidance where the conversation never happens and everybody
When you were
feels
going through
like they're
that, I
not
was
supported.
thinking